Hi, everyone.
Great, so we're perfectly on time. I will welcome you all to this session, this workshop about the CodeMaster Bootcamp. I've talked with some of you already. We had an interview. For others, it's the first time that you're meeting me. I'm the orientation and admission specialist for this course at Talent Garden. And today I'll give you a brief overview, and then I'll leave the floor to Carlotta to the more practical and concrete part. So let me tell you a bit about who we are. At Talent Garden, we have three verticals, so to say. We have the co-working, which is all around Europe, as we were saying, who have a campus near you. Then we have the Innovation School, which is where we work. So today we are here because Innovation School have different courses in fields such as coding or design, for example. And then we also have corporate transformation, in which we work companies going through transformation inside their dynamics. In fact, Talent Garden is much more than a space. It is a community, and it is a community that spreads in 8 countries, 17 cities, and we have 21 campuses. So our latest one is in Lille in France. It just opened last week. And here you can see all the campus spreads around. About the Innovation School, let me tell you that we have 6 years of experience, and we have been training different profiles in fields such as UX and UI or content design, for example. Here you have an overview of all, and definitely the coder and the developer is the one that you like the most. That's why you're here today. This is some data that I would like to share with you, because this is from a survey that we did to CodeMaster alumni 1 year after they finished the course. Know that we are doing the CodeMaster since 2016. In fact, Carlotta, which is now a tutor, was one of our first students. And on our latest survey, all of our students are currently working. 67% of them at the same company that they joined at the end of this bootcamp, and 5% of them are working in realities such as startups. About our CodeMaster Bootcamp. This is a timeline to give you an overview of what we've been doing and what you will be doing during these full-time weeks. So it is a very intensive course. It starts on the 3rd of May and ends at the end of July. Here you can see all the modules that you have. And I would just like to highlight the part of the team role play and the project, which is even the most practical one, and in which Carlotta will definitely support you. You can really develop a project on your own, working in groups, getting to work as if you were in a company. You also will have an introduction to the Agile methodology, something that you will use during this course, and we think that definitely will help you in your work after Talent Garden experience. So how to join the CodeMaster Bootcamp? Some of you already did the first step, which is to book an interview with me. Then you have access to a free module in which you can start learning at your own pace. And at the end of it, you have an assignment. This assignment is what gets you selected to join this bootcamp. And on the 3rd of May, we start. There's something I would like to present to you today. It's that Talent Garden really believes in empowering transformation. So if you are looking for a career change, please know that we pay half of the price for you. So we know from the many people we've been talking to that you really want to shift your career, invest in yourself, invest mostly on a job that you know it's very requested by the market, especially now that we are still working remotely, and some of you rightly said that this is the job of the future. So now we're here to support you with half of the price. So this is the price that you would pay. And of course, keep in mind that we have the scholarship. So thanks to your assignment, you can either win a full scholarship that covers all the attendance fee, or 2 half scholarships, which would be a 50% discount on your attendance fee. The next deadline to submit your assignment is the 16th of April. And to talk about this issue, I'll leave the floor to Carlotta. By the end of it, if you have any question, please feel free to write and we'll answer everything. Thank you.
Okay, hi again. I share my screen. Oh, waiting for your, okay. So now let me know if you can see me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So as Marta says, I'm Carlotta. I'm the tutor for the next bootcamp, and I'm a web designer and developer from more than 10 years now. And during this webinar, we have not much time, but we'll start from the very beginning. So don't worry if you don't know nothing about HTML and CSS or anything about coding. I just give you an overview about your assessment, and so you can give us the best assessment ever for your application. So what about HTML and CSS? HTML and CSS are the core technologies for building websites. So HTML provides the bare bones, so the structure of the page, and the CSS is the layout, so the visual part. So with graphic and scripting, HTML are the basic of building everything you see online yet. Application, websites, everything. For this reason, it's important because if you start from the basics, of course, your learning curve from improve and discover programming languages are easy. So you have to maybe understand how it works, and also if you want to maybe just formatting your email or create a web page, you have to start from there. That's the important thing. So during the first webinar, we make an overview from HTML. During this case, I step on HTML. We just see something and just about CSS. So we put all together and make a tiny website. So the first thing that you need is an editor for sure, because you have something for writing code really good and in not too much time. Online, there are a lot of different editors. The most famous probably are Visual Studio Code, Atom, Sublime Text, or also you can maybe use something online like CodePen. If I can give you some advice, probably if you haven't used no one yet, you have to try both also and discover which one is best for you. Like, for example, I use Visual Studio just for some part of coding and Sublime for different programs. Depends. So try it and let me know about it. Anyways, whichever one, you can just text or coding HTML or other languages, depends. So we make just tiny recap about HTML. As the name said, HTML is hypertext markup languages. So it's a pretty simple languages. As each languages, you have some rule, and it consists in different elements that structure of the page. So usually you have some tags, and the tags are inside of angle brackets, and usually tags are closing and opening. So in this case, you have an example. So H1 opening and closing. Also, everything from opening and closing tag is called an element. So the element is the web part. So what you can see online. You can also have some attributes that give some extra information or something more to the tags. And that's it, indeed. If you have to think about how many tags there is in HTML, probably I can say more than 1,000, but we can divide it in section. So is the tags about like content and something like header, footer, and organize the space of your page. Also, we have the text content. So you have to think about something like book. So you have one title, a lot of chapter, and maybe some paragraph. And so it's the same of the web page. You can have some paragraph from with the C or some titles from H1 to H6, depends about the importance. And also you can have some lists, some divider, something similar. That part is very important for search engine organization and also for organized text, but we'll see. Anyway, don't worry. Of course, there are some rules, but usually depends about your web page. So if you have something to put inside like list or maybe some quotes, probably there is something like the right tag, or you can just use some paragraph, and depends what you want to say. The tricky part probably are forms, but I have a funny thing to say. We don't request a form in your assignment, so you are leaving to don't use it. My advice is try text some form, try to use some button, and you'll see if it works for your project and if fitting with your project works, use it, or don't do it. Anyways, you can do, but it's not mandatory. So last but not least, of course, you have image and links. Image and links have a particular tag, and usually they need an attribute for work. In this case, this is a link. So the link uses href attribute to link to another file. So is the reference. Image needs source. So you have to say where is the image placed. It will be online, or it will be in some folder, depends. We'll see how it works. Anyway, the mandatory stuff is that you need an attribute. Is one of the only case. Also, image is self-closing, so is one of the case you don't need just you just have to open it, and that's it. There are a lot of tags like break and something like quote or something like span or something like so you have to organize text like underline, overline, something like that, but depends. You can do it with HTML or CSS. So we'll see how it works. So that's all about HTML. Easy, no? Also, Marta, I think, understand all the part. Anyway, now I give you the best practice for your assessment. So the first important thing is organize. So you have to organize your project in the right ways. There is a common rule for organization, like in your desktop or your folder, but in web projects, usually we use some rules like keep name short. For example, if you have a web page, you haven't to call that like, this is my assessment, I want to show you .html, but maybe you can just say about me or my project or something easy to understand. Also, should be descriptive. Like if you have 3 pages, you haven't to say page 1, page 2, page 3. Better, of course, using something like about me, contact, or my blog, or something similar. Also, you can't use space. And also, you have to use lowercase only. Like if you look in Google, all the web page all haven't some space, or you can use some different character. So that's it. In this case, I show you like about me, you have to put something like that, not with the uppercase. Last but not least, file organization. Usually we call the main folder root, and inside you have all the project. And also the homepage must be in index.html. That's the mandatory rule. Also, the advice is use folder for organize all the page if you have a lot, but you can do it, depends about your project. You have to use some folder for image. That is just for organization, but is the best practice for all the file like image or source. So let's do it. I show you how I use it, and in this case here I show you, you can find Atom or Sublime, each editor everywhere online. You have just to download it. Of course, it's working on Mac or some Macintosh, or sorry, Linux, or depends about your system, but it's the same. In this case, I use Visual Studio Code just for show you, but we'll see. For create a new folder, you can do it on your desktop, like for example, and I give you like, I call my folder text, have done yet, and I put on like, sorry. There we are. So I have my test folder and I create new file, but I can also do it like about.html. And so I have a new file on my desktop. Also, sorry, here. Now we have to start to create like some structure. So first, I have something to do. In this case, I show you something useful. I can write everything. So I have to type like head and also maybe a title and also my body. And I can do it. Also, with an editor, I can do it better. Like in this case, that's it. Some editor can help you to write coding easily and also don't waste your time texting everything. Of course, if you are just learning, the better way is text everything. Anyways, it's the same stuff. Like in this case, we have in the same. Okay, this is my bare bones. So I have just a structure. And if I see a line, my web page, sorry, I see nothing, of course. But the first thing that you have to done is put some title here. So in this case, like my website. And your title will be here, so as you can see. Also, we have to put in our body, maybe H1. So you have to use just one H1 for your project. And in this case, I use my project. So I have my title. Also, in this case, I use a live server, so you can see live each changing, and so it's very useful for work and improve. Okay, so we have to put something inside, like a paragraph. So I can use some lorem ipsum text. I show you easily how to do it. That's it. So I have a paragraph here. And also we need maybe another title. In this case, I use H2. And also I have some description also in this case. So another paragraph. Maybe not too much long, so you can see all. And maybe here I can put some image. So as I can say, you need an image. So you have an attribute, so source. So here you have to put the link, and alt describe the photos is used for blind people, but also to describe photo if you don't see online. So maybe here is like my favorite GIF, for example. So I can use some GIF here. Now you don't see the picture because I just use a hashtag, but I can do something like GIFI. So I can show you. Maybe we can put like coding. See, like the coding of the day. So like something like here. I'll copy the link. I'll put in here. And there we are. We have the picture. Okay, this is like the easiest way. Of course, I put in here some picture. Of course, you can also put your picture inside of your project, maybe in a folder. So you can call EMG your folder and put inside your link. So if maybe that isn't aligned yet or the website doesn't work, your web page have also your image. So you have to choose, but the best practice is a folder with the image inside. Okay, so we have a title, paragraph, another title, a link, no, sorry, an image. So at least we need a link. So I choose contact and also maybe A. Okay. Okay, sorry, my paragraph is here. Okay, so now I can put here email and maybe here mail to my address. And so here I have an hyperlink with emails. And in this case, it's mail too. So I sent an email to me, or maybe you can put maybe some web link. Maybe you can put something different like your LinkedIn or your Instagram or something like that. But anyway, you need a link, external link. In this case, I do it in this way. Okay, so we have all the beer rounds and we are kind of ready for decorate. Let's see next. Okay, so for adding some style, you need, of course, CSS. CSS is cascading style sheet and define how the website looks. So you have to decide maybe fonts, color, background, or also padding, or a lot of stuff. It's all about style. Here I can put some example. In this case is a website and I show you after, but you have a lot of rules. And also in this case, you have just to understand how the rules works. And after you're ready for use it. Usually you can do it directly in HTML using style attributes. So you have to put some style attribute inside of your paragraph. As you can see here, we have a paragraph, and in the opening tag, we have a style attribute. In this case, we decide style, we decide font style, so we choose 21 pixels. We can do it like directly here in a paragraph style, or we can do it in head, and we can give maybe style with different rules for all web page. It's better ways, of course, because if you have maybe 5 title, 10 paragraph, you can do it for each one. And of course, it works. So I show you how it works in both of style mode. The last, but probably the best ways, is using a external style sheet. Image a huge program, huge project. Of course, you need one style sheet inside with all the rules, so you can use it one time for each page, new page, or all the stuff. So also in this case, also in the head section, I put a direct link at my, in this case, main CSS. So I said is a style sheet and all it works. The only thing that you need to know is how we can do it. And we can do it right in the element without the angle bracket. So we have to choose, in this case, paragraph. You have to do not include attributes. So you have just to say the roles that you want to show. And also you have to declare some property and values. That's the only rule in the CSS. So you have, in this case, paragraph. And so you have the property and the value. And that's it. That's the most important rule. And all things that you need to know is that you have to use column for show the property and the value, and also a semicolon for closing your rule. That's it. So let's try something in our project. So as I can say, you can do it directly in your paragraph, like in this case. So I can say style, and I want to say maybe color red. Why not? So as you can see, my paragraph become red. Of course, in this case, the second paragraph is not red. So why you have to do it like the better way, of course, is said I want all my paragraph red. So I remove here my style and I put in there. So I have P and opening angle brackets and say the color red. and there all my paragraph are red. So now I can add some more rules, like for example, like my H1 font size become maybe 30 pixels. So it's tiny, I can do it maybe 60, so you can see, that's it. And also maybe I want to change the font family. And so I choose something like that one. And that's it, it'll change. Maybe I also can add some rule for my EMG. So maybe I can say I want to border radius like 30%. I do it percent so I can show you something different. So make some border radius. That's it. So you can put all your rule here. Also, as I can say, you can remove all the style here and put in another folder and call with each ref here all your rules. As you can see, I've said color red. And that is an important thing because you can set color in different ways. Usually the best way is use hexadecimal value. So maybe you can see there are like a ton of color with this kind of code. Also, you can use RGB or saturation lightness, depends about which kind of project you are ready to do. Online, of course, you can find all this kind of stuff. My advice is use one, depends about the project, of course. The best way is use hexadecimal value, I can say it. Of course, in this case is easy. As you can show here, my editor helped me to see the color, but also I can change red with maybe something like, maybe we'll see. I think about the color, maybe 109 of B39. Let's see. Yeah, it's green. Also, in this case, all become green. It's the same. Depends about the rules, of course. Another important thing is size of type. I have used pixel, as you can see. So I choose 20 pixels, 60 pixels. And so is the common ways for organized text and probably the more precisely. But of course you can use percent or amps, depends about the project. So also in websites you can find everyone. The only advice is use just one kind of measure, size and color. Okay, I think that's it.
Thank you, Carlotta. We already have a question that it's related to it, so if you wouldn't mind, I will read it.
Sorry, I go slowly, but we have a lot of stuff, and so I think that Q&A is more important in this case.
So Joseph asks us, can we combine external style sheets and internal style sheets at the same time? If so, which one has the priority?
Okay, depends about the case. Like CSS have a lot of rules. I show you just the easiest way. So like color, font color, something like that. But there are a ton of rules and a ton of different kind of use. Like you can find a line SAS or different kind of CSS, and so you can use some external link, so you can have like some library of rules and also put each one that you prefer inside and like override the other one. The name of CSS is cascading rules, so of course the rules are cascading, so you have the important one and after you can rewrite something, depends about what you need. The best way is choose one file and rendering clean. Okay, that's the best way for this kind of project, because you have one website with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 web pages. So the best way is use just the main CSS. Of course, if you want totally different page, you can give external page for each page. Depends about you.
Thank you. Let us know,
Also,
Joseph, if it was clear. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Also, I think, of course, you can, my advice is try something directly and maybe try, and if it fit for your project and if you work it, you can do it, because it's better writing just the necessary stuff and not too much. If you find something online that you like it but doesn't fit for your project, it's better don't use it, because you have just to learn how it works. So for us, it's important just the basics. For that reason, I show you just what you just need for your project assignment. Yeah, of course, Joseph. In this case, it's totally different stuff, because usually WordPress have a lot of themes, and each themes have some style sheet, and also you have to add more style sheet for organize your work. So usually we have general rules and also different rules for some page or some element. So in this case, of course, you can use different.
Another one from Trayvon. Is it a good practice to use Bootstrap for beginners?
Okay, yeah. For very beginner, I don't know. Like, for example, during the last masterclass, we used Bootstrap because it's easy organize space. I think that the worst things when you start to organize a website and web page is put something in some right place. So Bootstrap help you in this case. I have like a bunch of rules and they are general. So yeah, you can use it or not, depends about you, like if you like it. I think that you have to pay attention to the spacing, because Bootstrap separates your page in 12 sections, so it's different kind of way to think. It's like if you read something in Italian and also you can read in English, and so you can read in Spanish, so same languages but different rules. Okay, something like that.
Great.
And also another advice is, oh yeah.
No, go ahead with the advice.
Another advice is first think about what you want to insert in your assessment, because you just have to say to us like why you want to participate, where you are, something about you. So if you first organize your design page, maybe on paper, you can easily put in HTML and you have the bare bones, and after decide about your style, which kind of code and CSS you want to put inside. That's my advice for this kind of project.
What about the Tailwind CSS framework?
I think that you haven't used some framework for this kind of assessment because you don't need it. Okay, you need, I think, at least a half hour for just organize your text and send to us. Of course, there are a ton of framework, and depends. I think the framework depends about which kind of project you have to do. Like for our master, for React, we use a ton of different libraries, and so it depends about libraries to use different CSS and HTML style. You have to try them all and see the difference, but the important thing is understand the rule first, and after will happen. Anyway, don't think that you have to create some amazing web page. We ask just the mandatory stuff because we have to know if you learn the basics. And after that, of course, during the master, we discuss a lot about, and we try something different, depends about the project. So is how really work at work. Yeah, okay, Joseph asked me some recommendation. of course, you have to see the latest, like CSS3, HTML, the last ways. There are some of new websites. Of course, we have the classics, Mozilla and Bootstrap School, but for sure, I can give you some advice. You can find a lot of nice stuff in dev.io, or also there are a lot of like CSS tricks have a ton of nice rules. And also my advice is use Stack Overflow each day. Like I opening like 10 times a day. So that's probably the best ways for finding something new. Anyway, for sure, I give you some advice and I sent to Marta some link maybe so she can share to all of you.
I know that some of you don't know what the assignment is about because you still don't have it with you. You still don't have access to the free module, but you will have as soon as you book a call with me. I will leave you the link at the end of it. And I know that some of you are have already started and are working on it. So if you have any doubts or if you feel blocked in some point or you just want an advice, please go ahead.
If someone of you don't see the application yet, we just ask to talk about you and something about you and why you want to achieve the CodeMaster Bootcamp. And also, maybe if you want to describe your your interest and about your days. So you have just to create a tiny web page with this information. So it's like portfolio. So. And at least you need to insert one image and one link. So that's enough. Just the basics. My advice is just try to text directly on your web page and don't use like some framework or some web page that you find online, because it's better for also for you. And like the last winner of our scholarship is like one that I think the coding are like 32 lines. So just the basics. Probably he'll do it in like 15 minutes or 1 hour if he maybe want to think about just 2 or 3 times. So don't worry about it. You have just to try to do it and send to us, and that's it. After you have a lot of time with me and CSS, we spend a lot of hours with framework and something nice.
Trivan asks, is it a full-time program? Yes, it is a full-time program. We don't have it in a part-time program. It is full-time from Monday to Friday. You will be an independent junior full-stack developer by the end of it. And we have 2 recruiting partners, which will be hiring software developers. And you will have the opportunity at the end, when you feel confident, when you have developed work, to show your work to them and to maybe get an opportunity to work directly with these 2 companies.
Yes, we also have all the material in advance, so you can know something about the lesson. So it's easy to understand something about the day and also studying. And so don't worry about the studying part, because we have a lot of time to make some exercise together. Also, you can do it alone, and if you have some problem after, we coding together. So
Victoria, can we do something special to get the scholarship?
Okay.
Yes, that's why we're here today.
Yeah, I can give you some advice. Like, I think probably the best way is show how you feel about coding. Like, if you want to give it to us a lot of GIF of tiny cat, or if you want to create like an 80s web page, or if you want to just make something clear with nice typography, that's enough. Depends about your style, I think. Yeah. So show us how you think about we can think about you. Yeah. Of course, I prefer like some nicey or cats or GIFI or maybe some nerd stuff. But don't worry about it.
So to ask you, Trayvon, about the details you're asking, I'm putting here the link to which you can book an interview with me so we can talk individually about this, and you can get the brochure as well to deep dive on the content. Here you have, I think you can see it. Can someone from Africa get the scholarship? Absolutely, yes. Everyone, every candidate is eligible to get the scholarship. You just have to follow Carlotta's advices,
Yeah,
and it's more probable that you ace it.
yeah, that's it. Depends about, you just need like a laptop in this case and a nice connection, and so you can achieve our scholarship and also our master too.
And if we have Canadian graduates, well, no, I have to tell you, from Canada, it's a new one. We have candidates from mostly all over Europe, not necessarily from Europe, but based in Europe. It is what we have. But Canadian is the first. I remember we talked about it in our interview. Yes.
Nice, from each part of world. And also someone asked about the day schedule, and I think it is the morning lesson, but Marta, of course, you know
Yes.
better.
Yes. I invite you to book the interview mostly because I will send you the brochure with all the details. But know that being full-time during the morning, you have the live lessons with the teacher, so they are connected live with you to help you. And during the afternoon, you have to do some work on your own, but that it's very important. So that's why we say it's full-time, because even if during the afternoon, maybe you're not connected live, you are on Slack, you talk with each other and you develop some work. So definitely.
Okay. Something more. Of course, I show you just a tiny rules in CSS, and as I said in HTML, probably in HTML you have more than 1,000 of tags, and CSS has a bunch of rules, and no one of us, I can say to you, know everything, because of course, you know, it's like grammar, so it's like different languages. Of course, you know a lot of words, and you have to understand maybe a new word each day. Depends about your work, so don't worry. The important thing is know the rules, because the rule is the same, and so after you can understand something more. Anyways, during the master, we have like a few lessons about CSS and HTML, but the mostly important part is just JavaScript and React. So of course we use HTML and CSS inside, but we discuss during all the 3 months, so don't worry.
Yes, I was typing to Ahmed. Yes, you have to book your interview first, and then you'll get access to the free module, and then at the end of it, you have your assignment. It depends on you on the free module. Maybe there are some topics that you already know, so you go faster, or you want to deep dive better in some topics. Know that we provide you everything, so you can do your assignment as best as you can.
Also,
yes.
I show you how do all your assignments on your laptop, but of course you can do it also online. There are a ton of websites that help you to text HTML, CSS. Probably the most famous is CodePen, but there are a ton. So if you don't want to download it something and just do it online, download it and send to us, you can do it directly. So that's also easy. My advice is use some editor because it's easy, can help you to write, and so, but you have to try.
Is there any way we support graduates in finding a new job in tech companies? Yes, we support in different ways. So one of it is the 2 hiring companies, as we said, that at the end of this bootcamp, we'll be looking for new profiles to hire. So it is a special agreement that we have with them. They will be looking inside this bootcamp for the new people to hire. And then the other is that you will have an individual session with someone from our staff who usually helps people putting them out there, themselves out there, how to propose yourself to companies, how to look for it. So each of you, each people participating in this bootcamp will have the opportunity to have an individual session in which you can direct what you do. The other thing is that, as you've seen, Talent Garden has 21 campuses all over Europe. So we do collaborate a lot with startups or other companies that rent our offices, for example. So we have a really big network with exclusive job posting as well. So if a company that works together with us or we have a partnership is looking for someone, they first come to us and you will have access exclusively to this job posting.
Someone asked about other programming addiction to HTML and CSS. Of course, during this master, indeed, we just see JavaScript and React, but of course, we see something about Node and some backend part. It depends, of course, about our project, but that's the important part. And we discuss a lot also about, we have just few part of backend in lesson, but we use it during the exercise. So, and also Talent Garden have a lot of webinar and workshop, and there are some about some backend parts sometimes, also different languages. So if you see all the program, you can find something more.
Yes, Josephine, absolutely. Let me share my screen so we can go through it again. So the empowering transformation I was mentioning, we talked with several of you, and we know that many of you are looking for a career change. So that is the empowering part that we decide to do. So know that this is the price that you will pay, is the price that you see in white, the 2,800 euros, because the other half is covered by us. So basically we'll have the first enrollment fee of 900 euros and then the attendance fee, which will be paid in 2 parts. Also know that you have automatically the Women in Tech grant. As the bootcamp costs half of it, or you'll be paying half of it, then the grant is also 500 euros. And this is it. This is the complete overview of what you can get. So let's say that additionally to the 3 scholarships, these are the other supports that we have. Let me know if it's clear, or if you want me to go through it again, or if we've talked, we had an interview, but feel free to contact me and we can do it again. Anyway, I'll leave you my email to those of you who haven't talked to me yet.
Also, like during the last master, all the guys, I think, find a job in less than 1 month. A lot, like 3 or 4 before the end of the master. So that's normal. Of course, depends about how many profile you see and what you want to do. Also, I can give you some advice. Depends, like if you are better for right startup or you want like some corporate agency. Depends about also your kind of style and how you prefer to work. So we discuss a lot about during the master and our time together, and we find the right ways for your starting work. So. Yeah. Also, the company that have some work day with us are a big company, huge company with a lot of nice projects. So I think is the best place for start to work in team working, coding, and improve your skills. Of course, this is just the start. So in the next year, probably you understand a lot of more new stuff. So a good company is the best way for improve your skill and become a good developer.
I also know that some of you that I've met along the way have also projects in terms of startups or freelancing. We also have people who want to have a wider overview of coding so they can use it inside their own projects, which is very interesting. So there are definitely many roads that you can explore within this bootcamp.
Yeah, also I receive a lot of weekly email from Talent Garden, like there is a new kind of job you want to apply. So it's like a huge agency that works for you.
It's true, because we send it to everyone in our community. I mean,
yeah.
From the moment you are part of our community, you will always receive that. So Carlotta was a student, now is a tutor,
Yeah.
but you still receive it.
Yeah.
It's true.
I've been student like 6 years ago, so lots of time, different kind of matter, of course, but until now I work with different agency, also startup in Talent Garden too. Yeah.
Okay, I don't see any more questions, but you also are free to write to me, contact me anytime.
Yeah, my last advice is be easy, and so don't worry about the assignment. Just put your stuff in together and send to us, and we'll see about it. And of course, don't forget some tiny cats for me. Thank you.
Yeah, keep in mind that anyone can do this career change. That's one of the reasons why we do this course, and we really believe in empowering you, because you don't need a specific background. It's more about your mindset and your motivation. So don't worry if you're a beginner, because it is exactly for you.
Yeah, first think about what you want to say about you, and after use it for create a web page, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't have any more questions. So I thank you, Carlotta, for your time. And I thank all of you for being here today. And I hope to see you soon.